Do you think like it's possible that in the future, like AI companies or like AI resources like ChatGPT can actually replace real jobs?
I think that with every new
Web3 Gaming, the latest news, updates, and esports. Hosted by Sedano and Luis Buenaventura. This is YGG TV.
Artificial intelligence or AI has been a hot topic in the recent months thanks to the growing popularity of an AI tool called ChatGPT. Launched in November of 2022, OpenAI's chatbot caught a lot of people's attention with its accurate and well-articulated responses throughout a variety of knowledge domains. I mean, you wouldn't really know, right, if like this video, this production is made by AI, but someone who would actually know is Luis Buenaventura. He's the country manager of YGG Pilipinas, and he himself has first-hand experience with ChatGPT and all these new AI technologies. Luis, how you doing, man?
pretty good, pretty good. I'm hoping that our script today was not written by AI.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if they watch, until the end of the video, would actually say if it's made by AI.
Yeah, we'll let them know. We'll let them know.
I mean, so like we've come a long way, man, from the robo vacuum cleaners and Siri,
I have one of those. They're great.
right? Until they catch all the hair and they stop
Yeah,
working.
not so great after that.
So maybe the new algos, like the new knowledge bases, can now do it. But maybe my bigger question here, Luis, is how do you see AI being implemented in blockchain?
AI and blockchain, or I guess AI and crypto, has actually had a long relationship. No, not just recently, but actually from about 2018, we already started to see crypto tokens that were actually very specifically around AI. I can talk about a few of them. One of them is called Alethea. There's another one called Fetch. But the one that I really like is called AGIX. And this was created by the chief scientist that popularized the term artificial general intelligence. There's many different types of AI. The one that we're currently using is called narrow AI, meaning that it is very specific to a particular task. ChatGPT is really great at giving you text answers. Midjourney is really good at generating images based on your prompts.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, right? So I think it's called narrow because they're working with, a very limited set of resources, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, in the future, like, is this something that, we see
Hopefully gets bigger.
Gets expanded?
Yeah, so the idea is that it's not true intelligence if they can only do one thing. And maybe one of the narrowest forms of AI, the one that we first grew up with, was the chess computers.
Yeah.
As time goes on, the narrow kind of definition has gotten wider and wider, and now we can do like entire text conversations with ChatGPT. It's very hard to tell sometimes if you're talking to a human or not. AGI, artificial general intelligence, is what we call it when the AI basically has no limit to what it can do for us. It can write us a song, it can write us a poem, it can generate an image for us, maybe make a video like this for us, right? And that's kind of the big bet. But we're still a ways away from that. So the reason why I like the AGIX project is because it was not a cryptocurrency project first. It was an AI project first. That's the company behind that is called Singularity Net, and they are trying to basically be the company that cracks the AGI puzzle, the artificial general intelligence puzzle.
So we're not talking about Skynet or anything, right?
We're kind of getting close though. So I'm sure
I'm
they're
gonna ask you, like, are we supposed to be afraid of like what can happen with the next generations of AI?
I mean, I'm sure there
A
are
lot of people on
Yeah.
social media are. Though.
Yes, of course. And I mean, so am I suppose. But the thing that I will probably say, and it's just me being a normal person, maybe just don't connect that AI computer to nuclear missiles. That's probably not a great idea.
I mean, you could connect it to your robot vacuum cleaner.
That's
just
probably
not
enough.
to,
Yeah.
I mean, weaponry.
yeah. At the most it can do is stub your toe really hard.
Yeah.
So it's not gonna kill you. There's a lot of science behind this that is saying that even though ChatGPT feels so advanced right now, the truth of the matter is we're actually very far off from AGI. Like, we're talking decades away.
But then, I mean, is it really that accurate? If I'm not mistaken, was it the other company, was it Google or was it Google?
Yeah,
or
it was
Facebook?
Google. It was
Google.
Anthropic. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was the company that Google bought or was investing in, I should say. So they did make some mistakes with the facts that they were spitting out. And I think that that's kind of still the danger with AI. AI itself can't tell which fact is real or not, because it's not like AI can go out into the world and verify how many satellites there are in the sky, right? So they are just referencing data on the internet, and data on the internet is not completely accurate either. Where we're at right now is that it's a great research assistant,
Yes.
but I'd still do my own research. But it's a great start. And the thing that I like about the Bing.com implementation is when it gives you answers, there's actually footnotes.
Okay.
So you can actually, if you want, you can verify. You can click on
Gotcha.
each individual footnote and actually read through it.
So how do these like knowledge databases like actually work?
The way that AI is being trained is that it's actually being trained on these massive data sets. I think ChatGPT at the time, this is version 3, it was trained on a data set that had about 5 billion data points in it, meaning that this wasn't the open internet. The open internet is like petabytes of data. In this case, it was 5 billion data points, and that was how ChatGPT learned about the world. As the AI models get more and more sophisticated, you need to have larger and larger data sets. But having a really large data set implies that there needs to have been a human to actually curate what is in that data set. You can't just harvest the internet as is, because the internet has so much fake news. It's got racist comments, sexist comments. Basically everything wrong with humanity is also on the internet. So the challenge now is, how do you compile a data set that is big enough to really educate our AI, but at the same time make sure that that data set
It's
is
credible,
not...
right?
Yeah, exactly. That's a challenge, because you actually need a human, or many humans, to go through all of that data and make sure that it's not crazy. And then, of course, every human has a slightly definition of what is right and wrong. So, you know, it's tricky. It's a tricky conversation.
But then, like, do you think like it's possible that in the future, like AI companies or like AI resources like ChatGPT can actually replace real jobs?
I think that with every new kind of era in technology, some jobs will get replaced. The internet basically had a hand in the destruction of many industries, right? I mean, you could argue that, shopping in the mall has gone down way a lot because of e-commerce. So there's a whole bunch of different industries that will be affected by this. I think with ChatGPT where it is right now, the most likely industry that will get affected is, unbelievably, SEO or search engine marketing, because AI makes it so easy to create copy or text based on particular topics and things like that. It makes it just so easy to do that. Maybe you don't need to hire an SEO or SEM firm anymore to do stuff like that. So I think that as it gets more sophisticated, some jobs will be replaced. But at the same time, it will create new jobs. Because now, if you are, for example, an AI art designer, your job is not necessarily to create the art yourself. You're not rendering the art yourself. But what you are actually doing now is you are coming up with the correct prompts that you could feed into Midjourney or, a DALL-E or any of these other engines to come up with something cool for your clients.
I mean, it's good that you brought it up. So, you being an artist yourself. So, how does this actually affect traditional art, or how does it also improve, new gen art?
When the whole AI art movement came about, I was originally a little insecure because some of the stuff that it was producing was actually really beautiful, and it would have been the kind of stuff that a human artist would have taken hours to make, versus this AI was doing it in literally seconds, right? Now, the thing about AI, though, is when you actually look a little closely, it gets a lot of details wrong.
Just don't look at the fingers.
Yeah, don't look at the fingers, don't look at the feet. The more complex the scene is, the less it will make sense, usually. And the reason for that is because AI itself doesn't actually know how objects interact in the real world. It knows what a human face looks like. So if you need a portrait of a human face and you don't want to pay for stock photography, you don't want to hire a human model, AI will, get you there in 30 seconds. But if you want anything else, you kind of still need human intuition. And I think that what I've found is that AI is not really completely there yet. It's about 90% of the way there, but I think there's still a lot of room for human artists. So I'm less insecure now, I guess.
But then, in general, right? So how does this translate into blockchain, into NFTs? Like the whole concept of this new technology?
So I think that if you look at AI purely as a tool, then it's no different from saying that, our NFTs were rendered using Photoshop. It's just a tool. And ultimately what matters is, was the idea good or not, right? And one of the most expensive NFTs in the world are CryptoPunks, and those are just pixels. There's nothing amazing about the way that looks, but it was a novel idea at the time, and that's what makes it expensive. I think it's going to be the same for NFTs. The thing that is going to sell them is not necessarily whether or not it was created by AI, created by Photoshop, or drawn by hand with pencil and paper. That's not it. What will sell it is, was it a great idea? Did it have good mechanics? Was the marketing on point? Did the community respond to it? Those are still the things that will matter. And again, maybe AI will just shorten some of the more tedious parts of the process, but I think it's still going to be humans all the way down.
How about for blockchain in general, right? So how does AI plug into blockchain projects?
Actually, so this is more of a matter of opinion, I think, and I think that the more into software engineering you are, the more you'll have a strong opinion about this stuff. AI generally needs what we call very, very fast and big throughput, meaning it's hundreds of thousands of ideas getting pushed through the pipe all at the same time. Blockchain's not good at that. Blockchain is a very slow kind of communications technology. It's not really great for stuff like that. So you could argue that they're actually not complementary to each other. Blockchain is more about reliability. And AI needs a lot of speed. I think that the reason why we have projects like AGIX that's on crypto is because they needed a fundraising mechanism. Okay. So they used crypto as a way to raise money for their platform and their project, and now they're going on strong. And that's great, right? And maybe that's it. Maybe that's the only real interaction that AI will have with crypto for now. But I do have a feeling that when the next bull market happens in crypto, AI will have some part in that. I'm not sure exactly how, but it seems almost inevitable because crypto has this tendency to kind of ride on certain waves. And I think that the next big wave will have AI in it for sure.
So again, so Luis, before we wrap up, so we had Chat GPT-3, right? And then now we have GPT-4. And what can we expect from this?
What I thought was very interesting about this release was OpenAI is suddenly very, very secretive about what's going on inside version 4. Unlike in version 3, they actually had entire white papers describing how the whole thing worked. And with ChatGPT-4, all we know is that it's 50 times more powerful, but we don't know how or why or what they've actually done inside. Now, it could just be magic, but it's probably a little bit more mathy than that. What is interesting to me about that whole situation is that it implies that OpenAI is no longer as open as it used to be. It was envisioned as an open source foundation, and now it is becoming more and more of a for-profit tech venture. And they raised, I guess it's now $11 billion from Microsoft. So I guess they need to get some returns on that at some point.
Yeah, in general, it's ChatGPT it's now a commercial product, right?
Yes.
And they offer subscriptions.
Yeah, I paid the $20 for it. Yeah.
Would you say it's worth it?
Well, because at the time, ChatGPT was so popular that there were moments when you were trying to use it and then it wouldn't respond, right? There would be disconnections or whatever. So I decided I'd use ChatGPT Plus, which was $20 a month, just so you would always be high priority. I don't know if that's still going to be useful or necessary right now because you can just use Bing.com. But I guess if your job involved a lot of writing and involved a lot of research, then it's always going to be useful. It's kind of, your mileage may vary depending on what your day-to-day activities look like.
So I guess everyone at home, we are still, waiting out on what's going to be happening with GPT-4. Is there really a difference? Is there, is it day and night compared to ChatGPT-3? Will Luis finally end his subscription and just to go back to his IRL assistant instead of a virtual one? But yeah, stay tuned, guys. And yeah, if you guys want to hear more content and watch more content like this, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. That's youtube.com/YieldGuildGames. And yeah, we'll see you real soon.